Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. I release content every single day, whether it be about flipping phones, building your personal brand, growing on Instagram, you name it. I like to talk about it. So if you actually haven't watched my video yesterday I released, it's pretty much a 4-step guide that helped me make $8,000 in a single month flipping phones. So if you know nothing about it or you're an advanced phone flipper, definitely give it a watch because this system that I've tested, the 4-step process, has worked for me, and I know it can work for you guys too. All you have to do is put in the work and really perfect the system in your own way. So with that said, today I'm actually going to be talking about my thoughts on buying cracked phones and how to resell them. And I'm actually going to walk you guys through, if somebody's trying to sell me a phone, an exact case study, what I would do to price out the phone and how I would sell it. So let's get into the video. So when it comes to buying and flipping phones, there's a lot of people that are gonna want to sell you a cracked phone, and honestly, buy them. These are the phones that I tend to make the most of my money on because they're very hard to value from the seller perspective. But us as the buyers and having the knowledge that we do, we can make a lot of money, especially flipping these phones on eBay. I generally don't sell my phones once I buy a cracked phone back in the local marketplace. If you watched yesterday's video, that's one of the places that I like to sell my phones in the beginning. But to be honest, cracked phones, they don't really sell unless you're in a bigger market, like a huge city like New York or Chicago, because there's not many buyers out there that are looking to just buy the phone, fix it, and then resell it, because that is a lot of work. Those buyers are found on eBay. So with that said, every time I buy a cracked phone, I'm able to make a lot of money because I resell them on eBay for a much higher price, because I tend to lowball significantly for people trying to sell me cracked phones. And you can really, if you have some sort of negotiating or sales skills to you, this is where you can tend to make a lot of money. And I know some people in some of the phone flipping groups that I do take part in strictly buy cracked phones because they're in bigger cities, one, and two, that's where they can make the most profit, because they use their negotiating skills to actually really lowball people. Because you can simply say it really devalues the phone having a cracked screen, because I'm a reseller. I'm not trying to sell it and fix it up. I have to resell to somebody that has to take the time and the resources to fix up the phone and resell again. So this is a multiple step process. And if you say something like that, you can really leverage being the seller and making a certain price point when trying to buy that phone. So here I'm actually going to give you guys a case study. So I actually ended up buying this iPhone 6s. You can see on the bottom, it's just a silver. This is actually a 64 gigabyte AT&T phone. As you can see, it's pretty cracked, but it's not too bad. So and honestly, you guys can leverage that if you're reselling on eBay, how cracked a phone is. Yeah, they're gonna have to replace the screen overall, but depending on where the crack of the phone is and how deep it is, it will affect the value of the phone. But that's something you guys don't really need to worry about as beginners, because you just need to price based on certain eBay listings. And if you did watch that video yesterday, you go based on the 5 averages of the last phone sold very similar. So this is an iPhone 6s, cracked, 64 gigabyte with AT&T, and has a clean IMEI. So what you're going to want to do is, so as you can see over here, I'm actually going to give a couple screenshots of exactly what you're going to need to do. So here you can see my eBay platform, and I typed in iPhone 6s, 64 gigabyte, AT&T, cracked. So depending on the phone, the gigabyte, and the carrier, you can change it to what you need it to be. But you have to include that cracked part at the end to get phones that are similar. So, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the left side where it says show only. You want to see sold listings. So I click sold listings, and then you can see here we have a couple phones. We have the top most recent phone sold February 13th at 7:45. So that was about 2 hours ago today. It sold. And you have to list these phones as parts only. So that's a pretty big thing you guys need to know when reselling phones on eBay as cracked. If they have a bad IMEI, if they're financed, if there's anything wrong with the phone or like cracked, such as this, you have to sell for parts only. You can't sell as used and then say cracked. It's just an eBay rule that you guys need to know, and it's pretty simple. You just have to mark it as parts only in your listing. So even though that somebody's probably going to end up using the phone after they fix the screen. So the first one we see, an iPhone 6s, 64GB, silver, AT&T cracked phone, cracked screen. So this is actually an identical copy to what I have, and it sold for $166. So they actually did an auction for 35 bids. And then we can see the next one is an iPhone 6s, same parts, parts only, same gigabyte, same type of phone, same carrier. So for $140. And then you see the next one is $149. And then, so if I average out the phones from the first three, I can tell that I'm probably going to sell this phone around $150. So how are you going to actually price this phone and get a price to offer somebody? So since it's an older generation, this is going to be a phone. I actually ended up picking this phone up for $20 because I leveraged the idea of it's such an old phone. There's like 5 or 6 new phones after it, which every single one devalues the phone before it, and it's cracked. So to price this accurately based on the algorithm that I actually explained in yesterday's video, so let's say we assume we're gonna sell it on eBay for $150. We'll just put it as buy it now option because we know what this is probably gonna sell for. But you want to be right in the middle. So $150. So eBay takes 10% of that. So that's $15. So $150 minus $15 is $135. So if you're like looking to make $100 profit, 100 minus the 135 would be $35. And then you can take into consideration the PayPal fees, which will probably be, it's about 2 to 3%. So you're down to $35. So let's say $5. So if you want to make $100 off an iPhone 6s, 64GB, AT&T clean IMEI cracked screen, you should be offering about $30. And a lot of people won't take that, to be honest, because it's very hard to buy older phones with the cracked screen because people don't recognize how little value it is. But once you can take advantage and leverage some of the sales skills you gain over time, you will be able to buy a lot of these phones for very cheap and make an enormous amount of profit, $100 off a cracked phone. So this is great for any beginner if they want to get into buying and reselling. This kind of phone only costs you $20. So if anything goes wrong with it in the back end later on, you're out $20. It's a lesson that's hardly any value to it, other than you're learning from the mistake and you won't do it again on whatever that problem might be with that phone, depending on your case. So as most people preach in the iPhone reselling business that you need like $100. You could buy an iPhone 6s, exactly the specs that I said, for literally $30 and resell it for $150 on eBay and make $100 off of 10 minutes work. So I hope that really kind of lays it out for you guys. I like giving case studies because it's something you guys can apply. Obviously, you're probably not going to find the exact same phone, the exact same gigabyte and carrier. You might, but it's very simple. Just plug in the different variables depending on the phone that you get, and go from there and easily make $100 plus profit, just kind of depending on what you like to price your phones at. So if you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. As I said before, subscribe to join the channel. I'm just dropping knowledge every single day for you guys. So I want to see people that learn from this channel and are able to make 5-10K a month off of these strategies that I'm preaching. So thanks again, guys, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow in the next video.